Black Forest Comics Weekly Review, Episode 34, where we're going to talk about the comics that came out last week, as well as discuss some of the comics that are going to be coming out this week, and then some geeky news at the end. So let's get started with last week's comics. Divinity, issue number 1 from Valiant Comics. Now, Divinity 2, this is Divinity 2. Divinity 1 came out in 2015, and that story was the same as this one, but a little bit different. It was about 3 cosmonauts from Russia who went to outer space on a faraway mission, and one of them, Abram Adams, he saw this being, this extraterrestrial thing. It imbued him with powers, and he came back to Earth, did all this crazy stuff. People attacked him. People wanted his power, and he disappeared into his own reality and realm. And that was Divinity 1. Really, really great book. I recommend that to a lot of people who come in here and say, I really don't know what I want to read, but I like sci-fi. Divinity is automatically what I go to. So Divinity 2, issue number 1, it's picking up with the other cosmonaut. Now, the cool thing about this, I've told you before, I'm a big Valiant fan. The Divinity character is the most powerful character in the Valiant universe. So now we have Abram Adams Divinity. He's gone. I don't think we're ever going to see him again. But now we have the next character, Mila. Could be saying her name wrong. Mila Kanakis? Valentina Volkov. Not even close. But Valentina Volkov is the second cosmonaut, and she also uses that power that the Divinity entity gives her, and she kind of rebuilds the rocket ship to get back to the Earth using the third cosmonaut, as a power source. So she's not, I don't know if she's going to be evil or what she's going to be. Maybe she's just serving a purpose, and she knew that her cosmonaut brother had to serve a purpose, so he died and brought her back. So that's Divinity volume number 1, Divinity 2 issue number 1, sorry. Divinity 2, issue number 1 just came out last Wednesday, so pick that up. It's going to be a good read. The art's amazing. All right, next up, Superman Action Comics number 51. Now, this comic in itself, in its entirety, is just a dialogue between Clark Kent, Kal-El, and Kal-El, his cousin, Supergirl. He's dying. Superman is dying, and he's kind of, saying, this is what I need you to do. I need you to take this mantle. I need you to take this emblem and make it something more. Make it hope. Make it something people can aspire to. And Kara's all, I can't do that. I'm not you, Clark. I can't do what you do. And he's like, you can do more than I ever did. I believe in you. So yeah, that's all this comic is. It's just them two talking about it. At the very end, Wonder Woman shows up at the Fortress of Solitude. Is like, when are you going to tell me? So yeah, that's that issue. I picked it because Superman's dying, and I don't think he's coming back this time. This is kind of a long goodbye type of deal that's going on. If you see a lot of the DC Superman, Batman Superman, Wonder Woman comics, they have this symbol right here. This is a countdown to Superman's death, or count up to Superman's death. All right, so that's that. Superman issue or Action Comics Superman issue number 51. All right, next up, Sam Wilson, Captain America, issue number 8. This is going to be part of the Standoff on Pleasant Hill storyline. Now, in this one, we happened in last issue, Captain America, Steve Rogers, got back his powers and became Captain America again. So now we have Steve Rogers, Captain America, we have Sam Wilson, Captain America, and then we have Bucky Barnes. They're all together, and they're all fighting together. And this comic is, again, this is more of a dialogue comic, a character-building comic than anything else. It's talking about how Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers are having this long conversation about, we had our differences. I understand that, but I appreciate you. I love you. That's why I gave you that position of authority. Take it. You are still Captain America. I'm still Steve Rogers. And it's a good comic. Towards the end, you still have Baron Zemo and the rest of the villains still looking for the cube, or the girl now, that's now the cube. And he hires, well, he doesn't hire, but he takes on Kraven the Hunter to go look for the girl. After all the other villains have failed, he sends out Kraven the Hunter. And Kraven the Hunter, here's the thing, in the comics, they try to stay pretty serious about everything. You're not going to see a lot of comedic things or just funny-looking things unless it's like the Disney XD comics. You'll see it then. But in this one, Kraven the Hunter is hired to go get the girl that's the Cosmic Cube. And so you know what he does. As the hunter, he sets a trap. That trap is at a park. It's a birthday party. And he puts on a birthday hat. And he sets up this party, say, oh, look at this party that we have and no one to attend. Setting a trap to see if the little girl is going to come to the birthday party. It's pretty funny, pretty hilarious. You wouldn't normally expect that out of these type of comics because they're pretty serious. People are dying. But yeah, that happens. It's hilarious. So check it out. That's Sam Wilson, Captain America, issue number 8. All right, next up. Jim Butcher's Dresden Files. I don't know if you're a big Dresden Files fan. I am. I like the TV show that came out that had the captain from Arrow, the TV show. He was Harry Dresden. So Paul Blackthorne played Harry Dresden in the Dresden Files TV show. It's a short TV show. You might be able to find it on some online format. I don't know. I can't tell you. I've never searched. I saw it when it came out. It was great. I loved it. All right, so that's that. In this one, he's got a new assistant named Molly, and he's working with Detective Murphy, and they're chasing down this person that's taking the souls out of people. Not just the souls, but the very essence of who they were. There's no trace of memory, nothing. They're just shells. And Molly, his new assistant, has this innate ability to be able to look into people and see trace amounts of whatever was there, like a residual memory or something like that. And she finds nothing in these bodies. So they know that they have to go to this high council of something. And so Harry looks up an old friend and says, hey, I need to see the council of whatever mystic thing. And so they're taking off and they're going to the council of whatever mystic thing. And a giant owl snatches Harry out of the convertible car that they're driving in. So that's the end of issue 1. I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with that. Don't know what to do with my hands. So, but that's issue 1. Check it out. It's a good one. Dresden Files, issue number 1. All right, next up, Dark Souls, issue number 1. I know a whole bunch of issue number 1s this week. Dark Souls, issue number 1. Now, I'm not a big fan of video games. I don't get to play them a lot. Our motto here at Black Forest Comics is #GamingUnplugged. But this comic is really good. So I don't know if this is a main character from the actual storyline of the video game, because again, I don't know the video game storyline. But it starts off with this lady. This lady, Fried lady, is hunting down this entity, this long thought forgotten mythic person that's brought darkness upon the land. And she's hunting them down, but the closer she gets, the more of her memory that she loses. And so she has this one guy that's with her assistant. It's tracking where this being is and what it's done. And yeah, that's it. They're chasing it down. They're having to fight all these different demons and whatnot that are coming against her. It's a really interesting book. I really enjoyed it. I mean, there's not a lot more to it besides that. What I said is the main plot. That's what it is. There's a lot of action, a lot of fighting, a lot of, oh, these memories, they're coming and going. That stuff going on. But it's good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. That's Dark Souls, issue number 1. Check it out. Next up, Harley Quinn's Little Black Book, issue number 3. This one's going to have Zatanna in it. Now, this one is about where Harley is living currently. She lives on Coney Island, and she has one of the older apartment buildings there. And on Coney Island, there's an old ride called Hell's Gate 2. And inside of Hell's Gate 2, they're tearing it down. There's 3 ghosts that live there, and they're having to move because they had to stay somewhere that was attached to the original Coney Island ride. And so Harley Quinn's apartment building happens to be one of the last structures left from that time period. So they have to go live with her. It just so happens that Zatanna is doing a show in Harley Quinn's downstairs, because it's downstairs in this apartment building. Downstairs she has a showroom where they do all these different shows. They have all these different people come on and do things. If you haven't been reading Harley Quinn, read up on it. It's really entertaining. It's not the same Harley Quinn you're used to. It's a new Harley Quinn. I really like her. She's independent. She's strong. She's fighting. Way to go, Harley Quinn. So anyway, in her apartment building, she has Zatanna showing up. Of course, Zatanna does not know that Harley Quinn owns the building, nor that Harley Quinn's paying her bills. But she goes, she finds out that it's Harley Quinn. They go to help these ghosts because it turns out that there's a demon creature that is trapping them there. Now, this demon creature was actually a human who was cursed by another demon. This demon's name was Nad Odinio. which backwards is Dan Didio. Dan Didio is one of the executive producers or writers for DC Comics. So he's portrayed himself in the comics as one of these powerful demons who can grant human beings these wishes and these powers. I've seen Dan Didio's in interviews and stuff like that. He looks nothing like that. And here he kind of looks like Namor. Yeah. So anyway, he's written in there. He's written as this character. Zatanna and Harley Quinn go into the spirit realm. They find him. They say, look, release this guy so he can release these people, and we'll make a deal with you. And he's like, well, I like this Harley Quinn. I've heard of what you've done on Earth. Stay with me. We'll make you a deal. And so Harley Quinn stays. They work out a deal that Harley Quinn is going to stay for 30 days, only 1 month. And Zatanna's like, you can't do that. You can't trust him. And then Harley Quinn whispers, I can't be trusted either. And so Zatanna leaves. They're doing the performance thing at night, that same night. And as she's doing a disappearing act, from the thing that she's using the disappearing act, boom, Harley Quinn shows up. The giant Nad Didio thingy, his head, his emporical head, is floating there and saying, please take her back. I'll cancel the deal, whatever you want, just don't send her back to me. So that's Harley Quinn. She annoyed the heck out of him. She got sent back. All the deals were null and void. Everyone's happy at the very end. Zatanna and Harley Quinn are sunbathing on the roof. Ta-da! Comics, making lewd jokes. Harley Quinn comics. The end. And that was issue number 3, Harley Quinn's Little Black Book. All right, next up and finally for our kids comic for this week, Mad Balls, issue number 1 from Roar Comics. Roar, like a lion. Roar Comics. Mad Balls, issue number 1. Now, this was a great issue, very reminiscent of the old cartoon and the old toys. So they were having a baseball game. Really, that's all it is. They're having a baseball game as the Mad Balls. I mean, there's not much more to the overall plot besides that. It's very entertaining, lots of humor in there, lots of innuendos that kids won't get, but adults will get, and it's funny. Both kids and adults can read that. So letting you know that. But it's got a lot of adult humor, so you can enjoy it while reading it to your kids. All right, so that concludes last week's comics. Let's talk about this week's comics. So this week, coming up, issue number 1 of Aliens Defiance. That's right, another Aliens comic from the world of the Colonial Marines. We have Aliens Defiance, issue number 1. All New Wolverine, issue number 7. Assassin's Creed Templars, issue number 2, which is another video game comic series. That's good. It was better than the other Assassin's Creed storyline. Maybe it's just me. I couldn't get onto it because I didn't know none of the characters nor the backstory, so maybe it's just me. Maybe you liked it. Let me know in those comments. Also, Avengers Standoff Pleasant Hill Omega. So this is going to tie up at all the Omega Silent Standoff Pleasant Hill deal. It's going to tie it all up, conclude everything. At the end of the Sam Wilson one, you see Captain America and Bucky and Sam Wilson saying, well, we have a team of our own. And you see all the Avengers and all the X-Men coming in to help them. Batgirl, issue number 51. Batman, issue number 51, another important issue because we're ending all the DC before we start the Rebirth in May. Carnage, issue number 7. Bill and Ted Go to Hell, issue number 3. How can you not love Bill and Ted? We got Daredevil coming out. We also have Deathstroke, which has been a really good series. He fought with Wonder Woman and Superman for a bit, but he's looking for his kids. It's just been great. It's been a really good series. Doctor Strange, issue number 7, which has also been a good series. If you like some of that mystical stuff, if you want to know more about the character coming up in the movie who Benedict Cumberbatch is portraying, pick up the new Doctor Strange series. Only at issue number 7. Drax, issue number 6, which is written by CM Punk. That's right, the same wrestler, CM Punk, writes Drax, the comic book series. Also, from Valiant Universe, Faith, issue number 4. Now, this is going to be concluding the short 4-run series from Valiant Comics for Faith, the superhero. And she's got approval to go on to get her own series. So now that this has ended, in a couple of months, we're going to see an ongoing Faith series, which I'm looking forward to. I like Faith. Grayson, issue number 19. Harley Quinn, issue number 27 is coming out. Invincible Iron Man, issue number 6. Justice League, number 49. This is going to tie into some more of the Justice League Dark Side War stuff, which has been an amazing storyline so far. It's changed a lot of the way that the DC characters are seen. This is how we're going to find out what the Joker's real name is. This is going to tie a lot of stuff up. Uh, Also, Micronauts, they're bringing back the old 80s comic book, the Micronauts. They're bringing them back in. So issue number 1. Old Man Logan, Outcast, number 18. If you're a fan of Outcast or you're interested to know what that series is about, they got the TV show coming up soon. There's graphic novels available. There's the back issues available. So get that. Rick and Morty, issue number 13 for all the Rick and Morty fans. Strawberry Shortcake is getting her own comic book series. And they're going to have a scratch and sniff variant. What's it going to smell like? I don't know. Maybe strawberries and shortcake. Suiciders, Kings of Hell A, issue number 2 is coming out. And also a special Uncle Grandpa Good Morning special. It's going to be a one-shot. It's going to have some Uncle Grandpa stuff. If you are familiar with any of the Cartoon Network stuff, Uncle Grandpa is a really good series. My kids enjoy the heck out of it. I enjoy the heck out of it. Makes no sense sometimes, but it always has a moral at the very end. So check it out. All right, so that's going to conclude the comics coming out this week. Let's talk about the news. Game of Thrones. Did you watch it? It came out this past week. Did you? I hope you did. And you have to swear by the old gods and the new that you watched it. It was amazing. I've been looking forward to it. You know, when Night Lady, 8-foot tall Night Lady, finally found chick and they met up and they made that whole pact with each other. I almost cried right there. You know, for 2 series, she's been trying to find a Stark to make that pact with and to hold them safe. So I think this is going to be good until they decide to kill them, because that's the way Game of Thrones goes. Yeah. All right. Also, Apocalypse X-Men, the new teaser trailer. We have an appearance of Wolverine. Super short. All it is this hand with the claws coming out. But now we know that Wolverine is going to be in the X-Men Apocalypse movie. Even if it's briefly, he's going to be in there. Also, speaking of trailers, we got another Civil War trailer, a 3rd one. And this one has a short glimpse of Spider-Man. And he's actually talking and he's interacting. And he's a lot like the Spider-Man I've been waiting for. He sounds like a kid, but he's still fighting and doing things as a superhero. He catches Winter Soldier's metal arm, and he says, "Dude, you got a metal arm?" I mean, that is very Spider-Man from the comics. That is very young Peter Parker. I enjoy that. Let's keep him young. Let's do that. Way to go, Sony, Marvel, one of you. All right. Also, our friends from the podcast, Comical Podcast, we'll give you a link below. They had talked about this past Wednesday that along with the regular Wednesday comics that came out, there was another comic that came out online called Walking Dead: The Alien. And this comic wasn't written by Robert Kirkman, but they were consulting Robert Kirkman to have this comic done. It's called Walking Dead: The Alien. It's by Brian K. Vaughan, and the Marcus Martin does the art. And you'll find it if you just type in on Google Walking Dead: The Alien. It'll go right to the site. And it's a download comic. It's maybe about 7 or 8 pages. And it's kind of a pay what you want deal. I paid $2 because you got to think about it. These guys put in the work and the effort into it. Give them some money. And it's really good. Without, I'm going to spoil it because that's what the show's about. Because if you're a fan, you're going to look it up anyway because it's amazing. So we find that this happens in Spain. So we know that this isn't just the United States. We know that it's worldwide now, or at least in Spain and in the United States. So we know it's in Spain. We know the zombie apocalypse is happening there. And there's an American character trying to escape with a museum curator who has this suit of armor that just happened to fit her perfectly. And so this museum curator and this American are trying to get to the boats to leave to America because she heard it was safer there. And that American is also in the news. Nathan Fillion has signed on to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Simon Williams. Oh my gosh, Wonder Man's going to have his big screen appearance. If you don't know who Wonder Man is, that's all right. He wasn't a very well-known character by a few maybe. I love the heck out of Wonder Man. I like the idea of who he was. He was a professional actor, a stuntman, and he happened to get these cosmic powers somehow. There's a few characters that got their powers like that. There's another character from DC the Blue Devil, kind of got his powers the same way, except he became a devil. Anyway, they were both actors. That's what I'm getting at. They were both stuntman. Simon Williams got these cosmic powers. So now he has cosmic powers. He lives to be one of the oldest superheroes in the Marvel Universe. So anyway, Nathan Fillion is playing Simon Williams, Wonder Man. Here's what he looks like in the comics. You see that? I like Nathan Fillion. I think he's a great actor. I loved him in Firefly and Serenity. But even in that show, he wasn't that buff. He's really going to have to hit the gym really hard to reach that level. So I believe he can do it. I know you can do it, Nathan. We're rooting for you. Be the Simon Williams that we believe you can be. All right, so that's going to conclude the news for this week. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll see you next week. How you doing, sir? And there's three goats. Not goats. They don't eat stuff. It was that stupid owl. Threw me off.